Are you a fan of pro wrestling, comedy, and combat sports? Then we have the podcast for you because we cover that and much, much more.
Do you like to debate with your friends? Do we have the perfect segment for you? It's the 531, where we take any given subject, break it down to a top 5. From there, we debate it down to 3 and then into that number 1 spot.
If you want to get a hold of us, find us on our social medias. Search Working Fans Podcast on any major social media platform. And if you want to find the podcast, search for us on any major podcast platform as well as YouTube.
Working Fans Podcast. We put in the work so you don't have to.
Guys, welcome back to Working Fans Saturday, episode 61, where this week, the man they call Dave and AJ Strangebrew will talk about their top 5 of the week and this past week's Dynamite from February 9th.
You where's the competition? Bring on the competition. We need some competition. Y'all ain't no competition. It's time to ball. Yeah, shawty, time to brawl. Cause see, we bout to stomp y'all from the jump fall. Me worry not at all. Your team is gonna fall. Hope you learn something from it, cause we schooling all of y'all. Putting you to shame. Don't hate you even came. Bringing the pain to anybody coming through the lane. Simple and plain, we gon' play it like we playing dames. Ain't got a chance, even if we give away the game. So hope you brought your best. Go put your skills to the test. An early off season, about to lay your team to rest. Chalk is another loss. That's what it's gonna cost. Go with your instincts if you're having second thoughts. Your buck, this is where it stops, player. From the point to the center, whole team got hops, player. We be the kings of this division, here to knock you out the box, player. Just wait until I get the rock, player. We tired of playing losers. Oh, y'all think y'all some winners? No matter who we up against.
As always, we are brought to you by the Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 1, written by Vinnie Berry, 35 short stories across the wrestling landscape. Each book comes autographed by one of 11 wrestlers featured in the book. And we are also brought to you by Super Vows, written by friend of the show, Kevin Kelton. Guys, enough of me yapping. Let's bring in the man they call Dave,
Woo!
AJ Strangebrew, and producer Joe's going to go take a shit on his birthday.
Woo! Happy birthday.
Birthday to Joe.
Birthday shit. AJ, let's start off.
I'm
Top
so
5
excited
week.
about Joe's birthday. I'm going to pop some Blue Chew to start off.
Hey, you know what? It's what I did this morning, but for other reasons. I'm going to start off, since we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite, I'm not going to go into the Dynamite stuff in detail, but there's some stuff from Dynamite that will obviously make my top 5 of the week.
No, absolutely. Let me just talk about the one thing on my top 5 that's not Dynamite, and we'll be great.
Well, all right. Let me, I'll hit you with mine. I got Hangman and Archer, the match itself. I thought was pretty wild. I enjoyed it. I liked Adam Cole throwing the belt on him at the end there.
I like the fact that I thought for a second there Jake was going to deliver a DDT.
I like that we're teasing something with Archer and Jake possibly here. Yeah. Obviously, it won't be a match, but
I pray not.
I don't think so. Keith Lee back in action. Obviously, that has to make my top 5. We'll get more into that later. Same with Jay White. Jay White also, we'll talk about that. Actually, I can mention Jay White was on Rampage last night, so because we won't be going into detail about that. So that's pretty cool. He showed up, dropped
top 5, so
dropped 10 Beretta. I got the Roman interview from last night with Paul Heyman. You can almost throw the Goldberg one was solid too. Goldberg a much better interview at this point in his career. But
down a lot on that too. The connection between the two of them. It was really good communication. They did a great spot with that.
Yeah, and I just think Roman's on top of his game when Cole's talking about Goldberg once went 170-0 in WCW, and Roman's like, wow, 170-0 in WCW. That's great. If I was in WCW, we would have all won because we'd still be in business. Yeah, that's a great line. And then last on my list, hey, it can't all be WWE and AEW. Let's throw a little love to NWA. The Crockett Cup's coming back this year, and it was already announced the British Invasion will be going to be there, and I'm excited for that.
I absolutely love that team, as you know, and that would have made my top 5 had Killer Cross not signed up with MLW this week.
That's a good one. There you go.
Killer Cross being on MLW to me is a great thing. First of all, I love the fact that he's back to being Killer Cross and not that stupid other gimmick.
Carrying, brother.
And he's back to being a killer, which is a great thing.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. What was your other top 5? Just remind me here.
Well, obviously the Jay White signing with AEW is the top 5.
Easily, imagine.
Top 5. I also have Paige and freaking Lance Archer because that was a hell of a match.
Yep.
And then Roppongi Vice versus the Bucks. I actually enjoy Roppongi Vice. I thought the tag match was very well done. And the fact that they brought out Orange Cassidy, Jay White, and got everybody involved at the end was fun also.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, let's actually, before we get to Dynamite, that'll wrap our top 5 week a week. Why don't we throw to a commercial? Producer Joe. Joe's still taking that shit.
All right, that was a great commercial. Buzz.
Get the Lambo car, house in the hills with the stars. Told you I'd raise the bar, told you that I go far. Baby, it's crystal clear. I'm not a souvenir. I'm not an accessory, I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now. I'm a necessity, so come and check me out now.
All right, Roppongi Vice huge return was huge, and now that we got that shit out of the way.
The only return that was bigger was Producer Joe from the toilet.
He's back, baby. All right, so we'll break this down segment by segment. First thing we started off was MJF's celebration. When he comes out, just the obnoxious guy making out with the chick. He just gets ready. They're all jumping up and down, and they're like celebrating. And Wardlow, who I thought was going to be
the only one who didn't get an entrance.
He was the one I thought that was still going to be heel for a little while. I thought we were transitioning back. No, we're not. We're still basically where we started. We're like, okay, we're pulling in.
If anything, he looks more begrudged now.
Yes. So especially before we get to Punk coming out,
Wardlow. AF gave everyone credit but Wardlow for his win.
Wardlow, is the jury out? Are we waiting too long, or is this going really well? I think I really enjoyed it after this week, but a couple weeks ago I would have said pull the trigger on it. So I'm kind of in between right now.
There's a fine line. You got to be careful because if you wait too long, people aren't going to give a shit.
Right.
But I think they've done a good job with it. I think that people are still interested.
Right.
Still could go either way. And it's almost turned into a fun little, oh my God, is it going to be this week?
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely reminds me. It's got a little bit of that Batista evolution there, where Batista was eventually going to turn on Triple H and become a babyface, but they were slowly building it. So MJF, like you said, I was saying, great heel, great cocky, shits on Punk, puts himself over. Yeah, I like that he references. I stuck in those 2 words. It wasn't "I love you." It was like, "I'm better than you."
Yeah, he's on another level right now with his heel. He's doing an awesome job. He keeps talking about how he's bigger than Piper, bigger than Bret Hart in Calgary, or in all of Canada. I absolutely love it. I think he's doing an awesome job.
But Punk would come out with Sting and Darby. He brought his friends, and it looked like they were shifting to Punk and Wardlow here for a minute, but then we got back on track with Punk.
But once again, Punk did a good job of saying, "Hey,
Wardlow's the one to beat me."
He's not even giving you any credit here. You're getting nothing from this.
Yeah, I like it.
And pointing at it.
And Punk has to find a partner. If he wins later in the show with that partner, he will get a match with MJF when he wants it. I
can't be the only one who was hoping it was Samoa Joe.
I didn't think about it, honestly. Samoa Joe's still such a question mark for me. Because I just don't know what's going on with him. He was injured.
even during the show, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, he sent down a tease where he was asking where Samoa Joe was on Twitter. He actually sent down a tease about, hey, where is Samoa Joe right now?
Very good. In the back, Shivani interviewed Andrade, Darby Allin, and Sting showed up. And basically, this was the setup that Andrade and Darby both want to be TNT champion. I know Darby has a match with Sammy on this coming Dynamite. So we'll see where this goes. I like everybody involved. I think like we touched last week, Andrade kind of really needs something. So I hope, we go from. Go ahead.
He needs a mouthpiece.
Yeah,
he needs a real mouthpiece, not that bodybuilder that walks around with him.
yeah.
I don't even know.
Not Ivan Putski Jr.
I don't know what Scott Putski's job is with but he needs a mouthpiece similar to Vega. Vega added so much to his character, and you didn't realize how much she added until he's on his own.
So we go from there. We go from Wardlow with Shawn Spears versus the Blade. AJ, I know you're a fan of the Blade, but
first of all, if you want to point towards somebody turning face, he's all of a sudden only facing heels. Blade is a heel.
Yeah. Question: is there an NWA pay-per-view tonight on Fight? We'll look into that.
There is. Actually, they sent me a message earlier today. There is an NWA pay-per-view on Fight tonight.
Is this
they sent me an advertisement for it.
Okay, I wonder if this is going to be Trevor Murdoch and Matt Cardona tonight then.
I believe it is. I know that they sent me an ad for it saying, hey, if you purchase this now, we'll give you 2 fight credits.
But anyway, in this match, I wanted to ask you, I thought that Blade was kind of the wrong guy for this job in the sense that I think Wardlow is great when he comes out just dominating people, and we gave Blade some offense, and I'm not shitting on the Blade, but I just don't feel like the crowd was interested until Wardlow started hitting the power bombs. Then they start losing their shit.
I think the crowd would have been more impressed if they had actually gone with the Butcher instead of the Blade.
Yeah, I wonder.
Dominated the big guy and then hit him with those power bombs. I think the crowd would have went nuts.
Yeah. That might have been a better way to go about it. Now, after that, we had the inner circle meeting. Sammy kind of walks out in the middle of this. Jericho and Hager basically on one side, Santana Ortiz on the other side. Jericho's dropping little hints as a heel to me here, saying stuff like I'm the influencer. Crowd seems to be behind Santana Ortiz, but I also don't feel like we've done a good enough job of like really distinguishing who the face and the heels are yet.
I think Jake Hager said everything I need to say about this.
Said nothing.
This angle to me is being drawn. You talk about an angle being drawn out too much.
Yeah.
This is an angle that has been drawn out too much.
Do we need Eddie Kingston? Is the injury to Eddie Kingston maybe
that is absolutely killing the angle? Not having Eddie Kingston as. Don't get me wrong. Ortiz is actually doing a great job on the mic.
Yeah, he did great. Yeah.
And I like the way he plays to the crowd, but it's not the same.
No.
There's just something about Eddie Kingston that just connects. I do love Ortiz's facial features when he talks to the crowd and when Jericho's talking, but his timing isn't there like Eddie Kingston.
Eddie's another level. I'll
be honest with you. I never thought that I would say this. Right now, I don't give a shit about Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I feel like one of the great things Jericho did in his career was he take little time off here and there. And I don't feel he's done enough of that recently. Like, I think he needs to take a little time off.
Yeah, that's we need a couple months without him.
Yeah. Roppongi Vice in the back. This leads to the Elite coming out. And then this is the segment where enter Jay White. Jay White shows up. I love the Jay White's here. I just don't know if this was maybe maybe we could have done something a little more impressive.
I love what they did. The fact that they just showed his back, the fact that he just eventually turns around, the fact that Adam Cole is, hey, don't worry, Bucks, everything's all right. Yeah. I'm not building a separate stable here. That's not what I'm doing.
Right. We haven't seen much of O'Reilly and Fish the last few weeks. Too.
I think it has to do with O'Reilly having the child.
Oh, okay. Very well. That could be it.
That doesn't explain Bobby Fish not being there, but I think it has to do with O'Reilly.
He was on Dark, but yeah, I get it. So after that, our next big debut, Keith Lee shows up in the qualifying match, beats Isaiah Cassidy. We had called this. A lot of people, I think, were starting to really figure this out. I'm going to say something I thought was interesting. I was listening to Meltzer and Alvarez on a YouTube clip talk about this, and they really enjoyed this. But Meltzer actually made a comment. He thought Keith Lee, and you're usually good at this, he said he looked a little too heavy for him. And he said he hopes he loses weight, and he said that this style would have got over in WWE if they had allowed him. That being said, he does need to lose some weight right now.
He did not look as comfortable doing some of the stuff that he does all the time. It didn't look as fluent, and it didn't look as easy. And I think the reason why is he looks about I think he usually wrestles at around 320, and he weighed in at around 340 for this match.
Yeah.
I think it's just 20 pounds too much, to be honest with you.
Now, and that being said, maybe Isaiah Cassidy, this is like one of those unsung heroes, right? Like he probably did a really good job of bumping his ass off. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Him and Marquez and Marqueen. Marqueen?
No, fuck. I don't remember now. You got me. Marquin.
Either way, the two of them were unsung heroes in this. I also have a question for you.
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain did a great job in this. He was like a prince and a pauper. But if Matt Hardy leaves a match in the middle of the match and nobody gives a shit, did it actually happen?
I kind of wonder. I thought, okay, they're going to maybe have some kind of breakup. Maybe this is good for Matt. Maybe this will lead to. Maybe this is good for everybody. You know?
If Matt left the company at that time and nobody gave a shit, did it really happen?
We saw a hype video for Mercedes Martinez versus Thunder Rosa, no DQ match. Excited for that. And then,
you know, I love a good hype video. I'm all about video packages and stuff like that. But that being said, this one was outstanding. I normally am not a fan of review packages or hype packages and stuff like that, but they did a great job with this. They made me want to see this match even more. I like it.
I thought there was real focused on women in this show. Like we had 2 matches, plus we AJ does love the packages.
Yes, the total packages.
But before we go there, the next segment was CM Punk versus FTR with his tag team partner, Jon Moxley. Great match. Impossible to have a bad match with these guys.
Yeah.
So many great hope spots. Would have been a great main event.
How heavy is Tully Blanchard though?
It was. Yeah, Tully Blanchard. Yeah, they had. Yeah, Tully might have sandbagged him a little bit, not on purpose.
I'm pretty sure I can pick Tully up with one arm.
But great match. Punk and Moxley get the win. So now Punk, I got to imagine, is going to get MJF at the pay-per-view. I don't think there's really much to say. Oh, this is an outstanding
they're going to
match.
do exactly what we thought they were going to do. We called this a week ago, or the last time we talked about it, how it's going to be Hangman Page versus Adam Cole, and another match between MJF and CM Punk. You got to get that on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I do have to say, somebody, I think it was Alvarez, brought up a good point about this too. This is almost a WWE trait, but because WWE does it all the time, AEW just shows you can do it once in a while. And the fact, what I mean by that is the way they set this match up. Yeah. Like how many times every week WWE will do something where it's like, we're going to set this match up. You don't know who it is. AEW sets all their matches up ahead of time. It's never during the show.
Well, here's another big thing. AEW, we talked about this also over the last couple of weeks. What they do really well is they usually start off with action.
Right.
So you get fired up. You have a big match to start off.
Right.
One of the few times they started off with an actual interview segment, but I thought the segment went fantastic.
Right. And it's, again, they don't rely on the same thing week after week. And I think that's what's good.
You have to do something different every once in a while.
Now, I did say I like to focus on women's wrestling. I like the fact there are a couple. You know where I'm going. This, there was a segment where we pumped up next week's match. There was 2 women's matches, but one of them was our TBS champion Jay Cargill versus AQA.
Yeah.
AQA. She's athletic. They both are.
Yeah.
But I don't know who was leading this match.
That match is something that I should have paid $5 at an Elks Club to watch. That was absolutely god awful. I don't. And now they announced that hey, AQA's been signed. She's signed AEW. What about that match made you want to sign her?
Maybe they looked at it and said, if she could survive this, she's gonna be okay.
That match made me hope that she had a career change.
She's just a great athlete. She definitely did some great athletics. I think the chemistry was way off though.
Her bumping and her lack of selling is just god awful.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to be able to control her limbs. I'll tell you all about last Sunday.
Hold on.
But
We'll save that for the end.
AEW first.
Yeah, and I know you're gonna like this next segment. This next segment wasn't really much of a match. However, Serena Deeb was a 5-minute challenge, ended in a minute. Basically destroyed
that match.
Katie Arquette.
The match before it.
Yeah.
It told a story. You knew who was in control, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do.
I think it was a great way. I think it's something to give Serena Deeb to do, who's a great talent, and I hope we see more of these professor challenges.
I think it's going to lead somewhere.
Yeah, I like it. I hope she keeps doing this week after week for a while.
Well, I think eventually we're going to see Mia Yim also. What a great way to bring her in. I'm a rookie here in
Right.
And she comes out and gets into it with Serena Deebs.
Hangman Page versus Lance Archer, main event. Archer loses. Hangman hits the barbed wire buckshot lariat, basically off the referee's back.
Which I thought was creative as can be. If you don't have ropes, hey, great move.
What I liked about it is we had the 10 count, but unlike everything else, we didn't have to have the pinfall beforehand. They were doing knockout moves.
I actually prefer that.
Me too.
To me, the pinfall beforehand is just
slows it down.
Because you've had that time to recover. Now you've had the 10 seconds to recover. You're making the person look weaker.
And Adam Cole, of course, basically confronted Page after the show went off the air, puts the belt on him. Looks like we're setting up that match. I'm excited for to see this match. I do wish that we never saw Adam Cole lose to Cassidy, despite the fact it doesn't count on his record. I think it's one of the few things where I'm going to criticize him. Like, man, I think we killed a little momentum there. We didn't have to do that.
Well, not only that, but then you're having Cassidy come out and get his ass whooped every week. Other than that, so literally he's getting his ass whooped constantly. But yeah, he beat the guy who's going for the championship.
And Cole had beaten Cassidy before that, so we didn't really need the match.
Nah.
But
so I love Adam Cole. Adam Cole's doing a great job. The big thing that I like, and I think this could be a great stable when they break away from the Bucks, because I think they're gonna turn the Bucks back face. But Adam Cole, Jay White, Kyle O'Reilly, and freaking why am I going stupid? Bobby Fish. The 4 of them plus Britt Baker as a faction. How great could that be?
Did you like last night, by the way, where Britt Baker, after the match, is beating up her opponent, and then suddenly Thunder Rosa comes from the save, and then Jamie Hayter comes out after not being there, chokeslams her, and then Martinez comes in and starts beating up on Rosa, but she pushes Hayter. Then they're going at it, and then Britt Baker just pulls them in together, gives them both a kiss, and is like, "Come on!" They're all like,
I actually do like that, because I think in the long run you can go somewhere with Jamie Hayter. I think Jamie Hayter's not being used enough, to be honest with you. Nothing against Martinez, obviously nothing against Britt Baker. They're both amazing. Martinez, the pride and joy of Waterbury, Connecticut, the Brass City. She has been amazing for the last 20 years. So the fact that she's getting this opportunity, all the kudos to her. But Britt Baker, that was fantastic.
Now, I believe we had a question about your time last week. You were at a
I
wrestling
thought you were
show.
going to say, where's Randy? I was like, I don't know where Randy is.
With my day to watch him, brother.
So
what about
I
the
went
show?
to, so there's a independent promotion that's close to us. It's in East Hartford, Connecticut. They run out of a place called the Test of Strength Dojo. It's Test of Strength Pro Wrestling. It is done by Slick Wagner Brown. He has been an independent star for the last 20 plus years. He was trained by Killer Kowalski, and now he is teaching the youth. And a good friend of mine is wrestling for him. He wrestles as Patrick Saint. He is an absolutely amazing athlete. He wrestles for the firm. He's a good big man in this business. I am very excited about this promotion. They got a big show coming up on March 5th. If you're in the Waterbury area, I suggest coming out to see it. It is at an Elks Club, and it is going to have Davey Richards on it, and then it's going to have Sumi Sakai on it also. So that's a hell of a show.
Very nice, man. Very nice. Yeah, get out there. What fights should people keep an eye on? Tonight? Yes. I was promoting here. But yeah, tonight, big UFC card. We'll throw a little MMA talk at the end of this. Israel Adesanya, Stylebender, middleweight champion, takes on Robert Whitaker. Whitaker is the guy Stylebender won the title from. Whitaker was one of the best middleweights in the world. Stylebender smoked him. He's went on a tear up until he tried to go up another weight class. That did not work out for him, but he's still the middleweight champion. And Whitaker since then has looked great. And Whitaker admits that he probably let Adesanya get in his head the first time with the trash talk. And he says, we'll see how it goes. With Whitaker, I actually believe him. He's not one of these guys who just tries to talk shit. He's actually very humble. I think he'll come in with a different game plan. Is that enough to win? We'll find out. My prediction is
styles clash.
What's that?
Sometimes styles clash. You can be a great athlete, great fighter, and sometimes the other person's style gets into your head and just kind of throws you off a little bit because it's so different, or maybe just not what you're used to. And it's amazing how styles can clash like that.
Yeah, and one other fight I'll promote tonight too. Big heavyweights fighting. Derek the Black Beast Lewis. Derek, one of the funniest guys. Everybody loves him. Always has a lot of funny interviews, funny memes. Just out there having a good bite. And he's probably the hardest hitter in the heavyweight division.
I was gonna say it's easy to be funny when you just knocking motherfuckers out.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the most technical, but he's just a hard hitter. And he's taking on Ty Bam Bam Tuvasa from Australia, who basically loves to knock people out as well.
You can't have the nickname Bam Bam and not be able to knock them out.
Ty will usually celebrate with a drink out of his shoe. He calls it a shoey, some Australian thing. He loves to have a good time. These two are actually not talking shit, but have both admitted, I'm just going to try to knock his ass out. And then they basically high five and celebrate. So I kind of have a feeling that is what they're going to do tonight because that's what they like.
And then they'll both celebrate with a shoey.
They might very well. So good on them. Should be good action tonight. There's an NWA pay-per-view. There's a UFC event. Yeah, man, it's a great time between combat sports and professional wrestling. I actually saw on MLW this week, they were promoting the last 2 weeks a Don King's production. Yeah. So Don King is back with boxing somewhere. And so
I want to make a suggestion to people because, you have a little bit of time sometimes in between fights. People got to come to the ring. There's entrances. They're going to tell you the tale of the tape. Instead of watching the tale of the tape, go over to the Working Fans TikTok. Check out some of the hot videos that producer Joe's put up for you. And that's a good way to kill time in between rounds.
Check out the TikToks, baby. All right. That's it. I think we're out of here. It was a good, fun episode. Thank you, fans. We always appreciate you. Working Fans Podcast,
where we do the work so you don't.